So it's reported that the Western Cape has recorded over 400 mass shootings between June of 2019 and December 2021. According to police, the province logged an uptick in mass shootings, particularly in Khayelitsha, since March of this year. So to talk us through these shocking statistics, we're joined now by Western Cape Police Commissioner Thembisile Patekile, who joins us via our video link this morning. Commissioner, incredibly worrying, these statistics: 400 mass shootings, countless lives lost in the Western Cape in that period, totaling about 24 months. What kind of plan does this level of violence require in your province?
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning to the listeners and viewers. We have put in place in plans and operations to the extent that we've got additional deployment from other provinces that are here, more than 200 members that have been deployed since last year. The mass shootings that are happening, when we call mass shootings, it means that more than 3 people have been shot at a time. There are various reasons for that. I'm going to tell you now, there are very few reasons that it happens. You will recall that in last year we had a lot of shootings in the taxi industries in between Paarl, Bellville, Khayelitsha and Nyanga. And during the same time we had also shootings that are related to extortions. The gangs, the township gangs, where they fought over territories and fight over the takes that they take in from the extortions. And then you will have the gang stations in the Mitchell's Plain, Marenberg, Mitchell's Plain, Philippi, Steenbeck, and all those areas where there are also shootings that are happening. So in all that, you have these mass shootings, then you need aggressive approach, and you will need more community involvement, which, by the way, if it was not for the community involvement, would not have contained it to where we are today.
I mean, have you contained it in a context where these 400, in fact it's 442, isn't it? 442 mass shootings registered with police between June of 2019 and December of last year. 563 people killed in those mass shootings, another 1,000 people injured as well. I mean, you say you've contained it so far. What does contained it mean to police?
It means that we're stabilizing. We're on a stabilizing approach, and in partnership with the communities and other stakeholders, we are on a stabilizing approach, more deployments on hotspot areas, because the issue here, they always fight. We'll take about taxis, for example. What the provincial government has done in closing the roads, that was a problem. That has ensured that the violence in that area of the taxi industries has subsided in those areas. And then when it comes to Khayelitsha, for example, and the extortion groups there, the community partnership with such as KDF and other stakeholders that we do almost every week and every month to talk to people and to engage. Whilst on the other side, the deployments of the extra forces in those areas to stabilize areas. But of course, the problem that mostly of these shootings are happening in the informal settlement, where you can't go in during the walk or during the night, and because people they go into this house and shoot people inside the house. So those are the kind of the things that we're talking about, so that we have more witnesses that are coming out, and of which we've got so many arrests because of the community in those areas, especially in informal settlement. The last shootings in Khayelitsha, not the most recent one, the last two that were there during this year, we have all solved them, got arrests on all of them, except the one that has happened now.
Commissioner, I want to talk to you about the issue of increasing police deployment in those problem areas that you've just outlined for us. So some interesting numbers we got from the NEC for Community Safety in the Western Cape, Regan Allen, around the number of known gangs, the number of known gangsters, gang members, shall we say, in the Western Cape versus the number of police officers. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the number that he mentioned to us at the time was 300,000 known gangs in the Western Cape with a police officer population of 19,000. So given those two statistics, the problem in the Western Cape, at least insofar as gangs are concerned, does feel insurmountable.
It's not insurmountable because we've made some roads. Because a project-directed investigation, that is prosecutor-led investigation, has led to many top gangs being taken down, which we're continuing with that on, and the quality investigation is done. It's a prosecutor-led investigation, and we are seeing many big guns that are going to court now, and we're still continuing with that. It's now, when it comes to the ratio of the 19,000 and all that, at this stage, you may remember that for the last 2 years, we have not had any training. We have not received anyone. Now, with the new current training that is coming in, we are getting 1,118 members that will be deployed in this program. That's beside the other additional deployment that the National Commission has put into this program to assist. Now, we've got also law enforcement in the city of Cape Town that's also working with us and the Metro Police and all other agencies that are here in the province to fight the scourge of these crimes.
In terms of, making inroads, at least insofar as the scourge of gangsterism is concerned in particular areas in the Western Cape, Commissioner, are you paying attention as well to the scenario where your own officers may be working in cahoots with gangs in your province?
Look, many of our policemen are the law-abiding citizens, good policemen. The few that we get, we root out. Every now we become aware, we root out that one. Of course, there are that have been arrested with the gangs that are still in custody. We root out that. As we continue, we ourselves as SAPS will root those people out. But we are also inviting the community to tell us more of those. But the majority of our members are law-abiding citizens, dedicated members who are committed out there to do the good and protecting the people of this province.
Yeah, I mean, the people who live in those particular areas, Khayelitsha, Manenberg, Langa, Mitchell's Plain, and the list goes on and on, they can't continue with their everyday lives until you get this under control, can they?
Look, we're doing, like now, we're busy with the finalize the election of the CPFs, and we're playing them. We are now, with the community patrollers, for example, neighborhood watches, that was increasing community mobilization and community blues in those areas that are working with us to prevent these crimes from happening. But you find that one incident that comes, for example, this one, it comes once and then you get 6 people shot in one incident, whilst it's always, most of the time, relatively quiet in one of the areas. But that's what we're working on with the communities where they live. And they are willing to assist, to work with us, and they've shown the willingness that we're doing, and we're going out there, full out there, all of us doing it. For example, there are a lot of the ministers of religion, they are conducting prayer meetings and other awareness campaigns on almost every day in the hotspot areas.
Western Cape Police Commissioner Thembisile Patekile, thanks for your time this morning, saying to us that they are making inroads, the police, making inroads in trying to get the levels of violence in areas in the Western Cape under control. I wonder if you are a resident in those particular areas, whether you are feeling the effects of the inroads that police say they are making.